activate our rats, hit a special, and then ultimate. So we can do as much damage as possible. And that's a good amount of damage, dude. Alright guys, welcome back to Ravenswatch. We're going to be playing some Piper today. And it looks like I'm going to try and make a rat build. We got explosive rats, so our rats are going to explode when they die, dealing a little bit more damage in a small area. It'll look something like this.
Heed my call, one and all.
Dodging through him and power through. We still took that hit, that's a bummer. Defense to stagger him, drop a special, and let everybody walk right on into it, using our power to start dealing damage, and then back away while he scythe attacks. We're going to send in some rats now. Let them get some guys for us. Now, his rats are kind of they're an interesting ability, right? I really like the Pied Piper. He's a lot of fun. He's pretty mobile, like you can keep attacking while moving. He's got some great like combos that go with his like upgrades and like his power and defense stuff, all of that kind of stuff, right? And then he's got his rats, and they're really cool because it goes very thematically with his character, right? It's I mean, that is who he is, you know? But the interesting thing is that, in a way, the rats are kind of like the weakest part of his kit. It's weird. Defense didn't dodge that. And, like, I don't know, because, like, they don't always seem to do a lot of damage. They take a while to build up. And then, I think maybe the biggest part of it is, like, the upgrades for him are some of the weaker upgrades for him. And it's not that they're bad, but you're often better served by taking some other upgrade. So like, if you have like the Virtuoso choice for your starting upgrade or explosive rats, you're probably better taking the Virtuoso. Like that's just gonna work better with a bunch of the other upgrades. Whereas the explosive rats doesn't directly synergize with anything. It is a decent one. I like it because it can do a lot of burst damage, but yeah, it's a tricky thing, right? We've got Horde though, and that is awesome. Horde is one of my favorite ones, especially when doing rats. So it's going to let our rats spawn in groups of 3 and increase our maximum amount of rats we can have. So that is going to increase our burst potential with our rats, because now instead of just having like 10 or something rats, like now we could have like 15, upwards of 20 rats to go through and just like burst into our guys. And with them spawning in larger groups, that's gonna like, it's gonna make it happen a lot faster. We got rooted there, and that was really bad. It was really unfortunate there. Dodging around him. All right, drop this, moving over to the side, piercing through guys as much as possible. We're going to get ready to use a defense right here. It actually staggered him, which is pretty nice. And then we throw in these guys to start burning them down a little bit more now. And I mean, you can see it was a nice little chunk of damage. You know, not the greatest amount, but it was extra damage. Let's take the unicorn horn. That might help us stay alive a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is head south. We're going to check out what's in that little nook there, and then go to the wishing well and at least clear it so that we can fast travel back to it at any point and get some items. And they burn down. I'll watch how much damage it does there. I mean, it's not bad. I guess for just like his trait activation doing that much damage, it's okay. I don't know. Maybe with upgrades it's even better, you know? Like, I should have defense to avoided that. I should have done a warm-up game, because this is not it right now. Alright, we are going to power across a bunch of them, activate the rats. They're in a pretty tight clump, so we should be able to see some good numbers, right? Powering through, those nighttime notes are doing us some great work here. We're going to drop a special and move around those roots, and then just start piercing as many guys as we can. Move over to the side, throw in the rats, let them finish off some dudes for us while we move around. And that's a good thing you can do with his rats too. Like if you just want to focus on running around, you can do that. You can activate his rats. They'll go in, attack things for you while you just run away from them, right? Just like that. Power through to finish them. There's still one more. And we found the boss key, and that's pretty sweet. So we'll be able to get an item off of that. Now we'll clear out this camp. Finish him. We're going to drop a special right here and then send in the rats. See how much damage they can do for us right there. Not bad. We're going to get ready to dodge this thing with our defense. Ooh, that was... I knew it was going to be close on the swing. I thought I would be able to just kind of back out faster than that, and I was wrong. There we go. Just clearing out as much of the chaff as possible. Let them walk into our special while we pierce all of them. We got the regeneration thanks to Unicorn Horn. Throw that out, dodge to the side, and stagger him with our defense, moving away so we don't get clipped again by a big swing. Now we got daytime notes, moving over, power to burn him off, and then go ahead and throw on a few rats to help us finish this guy. Just like that. Alright, let's see what our upgrade is. Defense deals damage, or let's do the defense deals damage. You know, a nice extra ability that is going to deal some AoE damage sounds pretty nice. And once he gets in and starts to swing, we hit defense. If you're too early on the defense on those guys, you actually knock them away before they attack, and then they just continue charging and start swinging. So you got to make sure you're getting them like right as they start to swing. And we're positioning so that they get pushed back into the special. Alright, so we've collected some dream shards, and now we're going to see what our first item is before we head over to that boss, and it is special deals more damage, damage for dream shards, or a dash will deal damage. We will take the dash deals damage. Our special isn't going to do any damage unless we get the right upgrades for it, and I'm not going to take that bet, even though I do like to just kind of make decisions on impulses. Gonna ignore that one for now, and we'll go do the boss. Alright, so we are at the boss. It's going to be the Banshee Lady, and it's nighttime, so that's going to be both good and bad for us. It's going to be harder to actually bring her down, but when we get to the add phase, we're going to have a much easier time getting rid of all of them. And now we send in all the rats while she's got the special on her, and we manage to just stay right out of the way of her Banshee Scream. And look how much stagger damage all those rats did. Once they all like exploded, that was crazy. Moving away, good, and then get ready to hit her with a defense just like that. Power, dash through to deal some more damage. Alright, and then we'll just drop a special right here in the middle, and we're going to need to make some space immediately. Because right in the middle there is a terrible place to be, actually. All those like guys coming at us from every single direction is awful. You'll get caught by something. So we put ourselves in a spot where we're on the outside and can keep an eye on one direction and dodge whatever's coming at us. We'll deal with the big Banshee Ladies last because they are obviously a little bit tankier, and any kind of clips of damage we can do thanks to our piercing notes, we'll take it. There's a good defense dealing damage as well as a dash. And we're going to save up some of our rats now for the actual boss because we're going to have a time limit. She's going to show up and dash immediately. We've got a little bit less than a minute, so we got to make sure we're rolling here. Get ready for her to scream, drop this, and then do our rat attack. Come on, and stagger her. Moving. Oh, good deal. Power, and then dash. Dealing damage. Good. Get ready to do a defense. Dodge the attack and deal damage. Powering through. Moving over, and then send in as many rats as we can right now. Dashing again. Power. Oh, we don't have the defense to dodge and deal damage. There it is. Alright. Let's see what we got. Dash makes us intangible, but increases damage. Power has increased damage, increased cooldown. We could do the Oni Mask. It's going to increase our damage for cursed magical objects that we have. For each cursed magical object that we have more than our legendary object, we were going to deal more damage. I should not have taken one of those hits. I really think I was out of range and I still got clipped. That's really obnoxious. Alright, so now we're going to go south. We're not necessarily interested in the pig quest. He only gives us legendary items, and I don't want legendary items because I have the Oni Mask. Plus, I just don't feel like doing it right now. Moving over, defense to deal some good AoE. Excellent. Let's see what our next upgrade is. Low notes or perfect harmony. Let's do low notes, right? They deal a little bit more damage in an area, but they're slower, and that's going to be okay for us. There we go, just like that. Nice bit of damage, and thanks to our, that Oni Mask, we are doing a bit more damage than we would have otherwise. Just like this. And something I'm not really sure about, and I feel like it should affect them, but let's see, my rats are doing like 10 damage a pop forward and when they explode. That guy had armor, so it's a little tricky to tell exactly. But sometimes I'm not sure when you increase the Piper's damage stat down there at the bottom that it actually affects our rat damage. Because our rats should be doing 8 damage each and then exploding for 15. Which I guess is modified because normally it is a smaller number. So maybe it is modified with our Oni Mask and it just isn't very much because they just don't do that much damage. It's a bit of a shame. I wish they did more damage. Banshee, dodging the side, dropping a special, power, defense, there we go. And then we're going to move on this side and send in the rats. Ooh, keeping our distance. We'll let those clip and finisher. Thank you, rats. And we'll send them back in. Watch the damage. 8, 8. I didn't see the explosion damage. I'm assuming it was like 15. I don't know. Alright, we had a bit of a tough fight right here. It'll be okay. And then defense to avoid that damage. We managed to avoid his root. And then we're going to stay away from the poison effect. Luckily, we got some AoE damage, so we are able to clip more dudes at once than normal. I got trapped, but I'm not worried about it because it doesn't actually do any damage itself. And mostly I wanted to save my defense to avoid that berserker dude. And now he's just going to get absolutely burned down thanks to our rats. Let them move forward, drop a special, defense to dodge the root, and then throw in a special and stagger him. We got little spiders coming in. I don't really care to have them hit me. There we go. And now we collect all our dream shards, which will give us a good amount of stuff for the wishing well. That's a lot of ghosts. It's also ourselves a little wishing well, or not wishing well, dream shards that we wanted. We're gonna go ahead and send in the rats while I start to like run around and let them deal some damage. We need to move away to avoid that berserker dude, get that stuff, collect that with some power, get rid of him now, and then hit them with a defense, followed by just some power usage and auto attacks, dropping a special so that we get that AoE damage that's boosted. Excellent, good fight. We've got 500 dream shards. Let's see what our next item is. We're gonna take a cursed one, regardless of what it is, so that we get another 30 damage. So let's see. Our first one is reducing special cooldown, ultimate cooldown, special gains a charge. Let's do ultimate cooldown, and then we've got damage for legendary upgrades. Special deals more damage, but it has an increased cooldown. Wow, this actually really sucks because our special doesn't do any damage. We're just gonna be giving it an increased cooldown, but this is to give us another 30 damage. So I guess that's just what it's gonna have to be. Let's go ahead. We're gonna go up here, and I think I'm gonna do the tumor fight. Should push us to level 5, and then we'll go right into the Master Nightmare. Here we go. Look how many rats we have, dude. We could burst somebody down. We can. So that's like how I think you should kind of use them, right? Obviously, you want to build up to have a whole bunch of rats and let them do a crap ton of damage like that. So you can save them so that you can initiate a fight and deal a whole bunch of damage right at the beginning, and then start saving them up again until you're close to the end of the fight, and then you can deal a whole bunch of burst damage to end the fight. So here we go. We're not going to use him for a minute. Using our defense to keep him away from us, and moving over to dodge that bite attack, and just keep building up that stagger bar. We're going to take that damage there. Took a bit more damage there because I just kind of stood there and took it, and that's okay. We're going to get regeneration here when we get a little bit lower, and we're going to drop defense followed by power, and then send in some rats. They'll help burn him down and get him staggered. There we go, dealing good damage to that one dude. Moving over with our defense to avoid things. Dodge, good. Drop a special now. He's just out of range. That's really unfortunate. Hit him with a power, and then send in some rats. He just stood there and he let us beat the shit out of him. Alright, let's get the Plague of Rats. That sounds great. We'll go to the Sandman. I'm going to pick up something. Maybe I'll upgrade a skill, and then we will go and take on the Master Nightmare. We could hit... Maybe we do the... Let's make our rats do more damage. Or I could do my own damage. If I get myself a... I don't have a crit chancing. I could do this one. No, it doesn't do the cursed ones. Oh, okay. Oh, well. Let's increase our explosive rat damage, and let's make them do more damage again. So now they do 16 damage. That's cool. That's, you know, I don't think that was necessarily the best choice, but like I said, I'm just going to keep making suboptimal choices because that's just what I do, man. I'm just going to make choices that I feel like, and then, you know, play the game anyways and see if I can't win. I did lose that Raven Feather early on, and that sucks. I would like to avoid that more often. Now, I could throw out the rats right away at the beginning of this and let them do whatever damage they can, and by the time we get around to the like damage phase of the boss, I should have a good amount again. So I think that's going to be the right call. Let's do it. Activate them now. Okay, they're getting the main core, and that's okay. Defense to avoid that, followed by power. It's daytime, too, so we're actually dealing a lot more damage than we would have normally. Because most of the time when you get into the fight, it's actually night. And so you're not getting the full power of his nighttime notes because you can't really pierce multiple people. Unless you take the sniper one, then you can hit a tentacle and the core all at once. But that's, obviously we don't have that, so it doesn't matter anyways. It's daytime. We're doing fine. Here we go. We're going to keep moving essentially since there's that artillery strike, using our power to help burn them down. And when it gets ready to slap us, we're going to use our defense to deal damage and finish it. And watch out for his enrage effect. It didn't happen yet, so that's good. Power through, moving for the artillery. And then we're going to move back this way, playing defense again. We're going to use our defense to dodge that and deal damage, followed by power. Activate our rats, hit a special, and then ultimate. So we can do as much damage as possible. And that's a good amount of damage, dude. That 60 damage buff from the Oni Mask, I think, came in pretty huge there. And now it's nighttime, so we're not getting... See, it's just barely shy. I might be able to actually force myself a little bit closer and then, like, hit both things. But I don't really care to, like, push my luck. We're going to do it like this, dodge some things, and like I did earlier, use our defense to dodge anything right there. We were in a good spot. And then we run. Let's go ahead and activate some rats now, let them do some work for us. Hitting them with our power. And if you notice, I haven't really stuck to any single tentacle. I've just been dealing damage as I can while it's safe. Dodging through. We took some damage there. That's okay. Moving over. Using a power. Boom, boom, boom. We're going to go get this one, though, because I don't like to have, like, if I had ignored this guy and got him last, I would have to go through some amount of acid things, and that's pretty obnoxious to have to deal with. So I didn't want to do that. Oh, moving back over so we don't get that. We've got plenty of... We'll have that regen if we do happen to get low. We used our defense to avoid that attack, and we've got to move forward. Boom, and then rats. And let's deal some damage. Power followed by ultimate. And we win. Just like that. Easy day, man. Easy day. Look at all those rats. It's so good. Yeah, that was a good run. Good, clean. I felt like I moved fairly fast. It's definitely not one of my fastest runs, but on the whole, we moved along really well. Just under 19 minutes. And I mean, we only dealt 49,000 damage. But it's because we went so quickly. We only did a few camps, and we did pretty minimal amount of fighting in between them. It's just, we were able to push that fight early because we had the Oni Mask with all that bonus damage. Like, that allowed us to play faster and aggressive towards the end there, and then push ahead. And something I want to know, right? So we went into the fight like a full day ahead of schedule before the Master Nightmare woke up, right? And what I want to know is if there will be any kind of benefit for starting the fight earlier when there's more chapters. And so what I mean by that is, if we take on the first Master Nightmare with like an extra day ahead of us, like a full extra day, when we go into the next chapter, will we have more time to go through that place before that nightmare awakens? That would be pretty cool. I would like that. That would be a great incentive for, like, hey, move quickly now. Like, if you were comfortable, do this chapter quickly, and then you've got more time in the next one. And especially if the second chapter and the third chapter are going to be, you know, progressively harder and larger, then yeah, it would really incentivize you to do a like somewhat fast chapter 1, so you got more time to work with the stuff. That would be pretty cool. But yeah, good run. That's Pied Piper. I like the rats. Are they the best part of his build? No, they're really not. But Horde is obviously the best upgrade for them. Just being able to get more rats quickly and have more of them works out great. You can do a lot of burst damage, especially with the explosive rats. I mean, you could see it basically doubles their damage, or if not, like, triples it. Because if they're only doing like 5 to 10 damage and then they're exploding for like 10 to 15, yeah, it's good. So that's it. Hope you guys enjoyed it. I appreciate you guys watching, and as always, take care.